Hi everyone, welcome to our whimsical elf. I love elves and gnomes and whimsical creatures of any kind because I feel like whimsy just is fun and happy. For this drawing, we want our paper turned taller than it is wide, so portrait. And we're going to start with his tall hat and his little bell on top there. So go ahead and start towards the top of your paper and come down. Let your pencil wiggle just a little bit. But if you look here, I just put mine right in the center of my paper, which means what? I'm not going to have any room for my tree. Flip my paper over. Make sure we draw this hat over to one side so we have room for our tree on the other side. So we're going to do kind of a wavy triangle. Across the bottom, we want to do a straight line with a curve coming back across to create that brim. And then on the tippy top of the hat, we're going to add a circle. You can do it on either side. Whichever way your hat kind of tips, that's the side I like to do it on. At the edge of your circle that's farthest away from the tip of your hat, we're going to do a curved line. That's for the opening of the bell. So that will be colored in dark. And then off of that, we're going to create two lines that kind of look like legs. So it's like a letter V or pinchers with a tiny circle on the end of that. That's for those openings where the bell jingles from. So it looks like a jingle bell. Next, we're going to add our elf's face, which is like a half circle underneath the brim of his hat there. We're going to give him some nice elf-like ears. So I kind of just did a curved line up and then a smiley face to create the rest of the ear. It's kind of like a stretched out letter S and then a smiley face to finish the ear. Inside of each of those ears, I added a curve or a swirl that connects to the base. To create like the opening or the cartilage of his ear. And on the tippy tops of them, I also added a little swirl. Again, just adding some whimsy into our elf's persona. We're going to give him his hair next. Kind of looks like a wave. Along this side, we're going to do a curve upwards. Then we're going to curve down, kind of coming to a point. So it looks like a little candy cane. Then we'll come back up and curve back to the other side. Then you can add his or her little face there. If you want to make your elf a girl, you can also add some hair coming down, but we're going to wait until we finish the rest of the body before you do that. So it's kind of like hanging down the back side of her head or back instead of coming over the front of her shoulders. Instead of like that, it would be like this, kind of coming from behind. I just did a little curve for the nose, but you can choose to do different eyes, mouth, or nose, whatever you like. Just make sure your elf is happy and fun. For that collar, we're going to do a curve up on each side. Kind of makes it look like a crazy little neck. And we'll start on that curve, come down, and stop when we get close to the base of that opening. I went way too big on this one. So you have like one curve to each side, and then we want to do one more curve downward, and these will meet in the middle to create that cute kind of collarish shape. That one looks like body though. I'm going to move this up just slightly. I don't like how that's looking like it's separated. There we go. So we've got our little collar. You could add little bells on the end of this if you wanted to by adding circles and very lightly doing the same thing we did up here. But these are going to be much smaller, so you won't get all of those details in there. Then we're going to add his little shirt, and that's coming off of the collar, and it's just like a triangular shape. Depending on how separated these are, you might have to add more of that in there. And you can even bring this up if you want it to be wider, and either adjust your curves here to match that so that your curve is coming a little wider and your shirt is just showing a tiny bit, or you can just have the neck at the top. It's up to you. I like to add a little belt in here, and just like a rounded rectangle, a slightly smaller one on the inside, and then just a line straight across to each side. And then we're going to add the little arms. And these are just laying right next to their body. So just kind of a line down and then a curve out to create the sleeves. And I just did a slight curve for the hand. Down the center, we're going to add a line down the middle here, not quite to the bottom of our paper. And then we'll start to create our little elf shoes. So wherever the top of your elf shoes are, we want these to be kind of like boots. So I'm going to start a little higher than you would think. However wide you want them to be, we're going to draw that line across. Then on each side, we're going to come down and loop up. Make that spiral. So come down, loop up into your spiral. Now from that spiral, we're going to curve back and connect it to the bottom here. You can go straight across. If it's really close, then just go ahead and continue this line all the way down and have your shoes go to the very edge of your paper. That's okay. On top of these, we want to add those little curves to show like the sock part of the boots that come up, the cuff. And then I also added a little upside down letter V to create this cute shape on my boot. Then we'll add the other side of his leg, just bringing it down to the edge of the shoe. Now we're ready to start building our tree. We're going to start with our star. If you have a shape that you want to trace, you can do that. Or you can very lightly do a big triangle and then go crisscross, straight across, and then connect the opposites. And so if we outline this, then you get your perfect star, and you can erase those crisscross lines in the middle and have a nice star. But you can also trace whichever you have, or even use a sticker if you have one of those. It's kind of fun. And we're going to do our tree so it's topsy-turvy. So from the center of the star, go ahead and do your first section of your tree. Don't worry about your lines all being the same length or height or anything. And then just connect this with some kind of a wavy line. Off of that, we'll do another line or two. Coming down, again, don't worry about them being the same height or length. And then connect those. And then one more. Then we'll add our stem. And you're ready to start adding your details and decorate. You can choose any of these patterns or create your own, filling in the tree section, the star, the shoes, his hat. You can even do more on the leggings. I made my leggings look like candy cane stripes, but you can choose what you want to do with that. I can't wait to see what kind of pattern designs you come up with and what colors you choose to color it. Are you going to go with the more traditional colors for Christmas, or do you want to do something kind of more modern and different? Don't forget to post your finished project either in our student forum on Facebook, Studio CIA Student Projects, or on our website in our community forum, linked below. Be sure to come back for another drawing soon. Bye, everyone.